Hello and welcome to the NBA Economy Show. Just wanted to go live. There's certainly been some news with the Knicks in the last couple days. Some things have come to fruition, and a lot more questions have been raised. We see that Landry Shamet is one of the first names to join the Knicks. Um, in the last few days. Um, Basically, he's taking spot we thought Ben Simmons was going to take. So many were thinking, hey, this is going to be our last big signing. Um, and then we'll put Diawara at that last rookie spot, and that's going to be it for the summer. Then the next day, we got more interesting news from Malcolm Brogdon has joined is joining the New York Knicks on an Exhibit 9 as well. So that made everyone think, okay, is Shamet and Brogdon battling it out, or are they gonna be able to coexist? And it's not the coexisting of playing styles, but it is cap issues. We see with the CBA, we know we had one vet minimum, and we have room for a rookie to be signed. So if these two guys are going to be added to this current roster, that means a move must be made. Uh, so a lot of people are going to do the math. Um, who goes? Who's least important? And a lot of people picked Tyler Kolek as the person to be voted off the island on the Knicks, just because he hasn't really shown that he's ready for the rotation. But I think that assumption is a big assumption. The big assumption that Kolek will just be traded because the math works, and he is the least um, ready um, with a roster spot. And I think you have to look at this problem a few ways. Did the Knicks just make this issue with adding two players where they need to make a change? Or did they already have a change on the horizon that they know they can afford two vet minimums? And I think, if anything, they already saw something on the horizon that they could fit these two vet minimums. Because I don't think they would have announced it um, before. I don't think they would have announced this happening without that. I don't think they want to go out in the marketplace with a sense of desperation where someone's going to take advantage of the situation. I don't think Knicks really roll like that. We know Leon Rose is a smart guy. Um, so I don't really see that. And one of the problems I really see now, what I'll do is we'll look over first at the cap situation. Give me a moment to get over there. And we're going to go to capsheets.com. Okay. So before it had 13 players signed, but there's actually 12. So we see whose names are not here. Landry Shamet's name is not here. Um, Malcolm Brogdon is not here. Okay, so Tyler Kolek's number to just under 2.2 million, which is very close to a minimum, is enough to make you fit those two players. However, I don't think that's what the Knicks are going to do. The message that trading Tyler Kolek is that Leon Rose failed. Leon Rose went into last year's draft having two first round picks in a late second. And he turned that into drafting four players that he said were first round picks. So if you're saying one of those players that you tirelessly sought out is a throwaway, you said you failed. Like, we could have had two legit first round picks if that was the case. So I don't think he wants to admit failure, and it's too early with Tyler Kolek to do that. I think the only thing the Knicks would do in this situation is consolidate. So instead of saying, "Hey, I'm gonna throw a player away," I'm gonna take two players. I'm gonna take two players and trade them for one player who's a better player. That way, it's not a loss. It's not a failure. It's, hey, we improved the team. Um, Also, we made room for the next. We made room on the roster for a rotation player. Um, I don't really want to get into who could be that guy because there's just so many different scenarios. Um, One scenario is Mitchell Robinson. We know he's extension eligible. What if that decision has already been made and you had to trade him? Perhaps that trade is already in the works and that'll clear enough money for those players to be added. That's a good scenario. But a lot of people have been obsessed with trading one of the rookies. And they keep bringing up Bacome Dadier, Tyler Kolek, for the money aspect. I don't think you can trade Bacome Dadier unless you got something significant back. It would look horrible. He was our highest pick last year. Um, if someone offered a first round pick for Bacome Dadier, it would be a decent trade. But what happens is you don't have a large wing on the bench anymore. You don't have anything to look forward to. Like, you're back to a short lineup. Bacome Dadier was kind of like that shining light of, hey, we're gonna finally get into the you know, get with the times, get a modern wing um, to come off the bench. Basically, you're getting a pick, and then later on, you're gonna try to pick a wing again. Like, that doesn't make sense. Um, I only see them trading Bacome Dadier if they got someone significant back, like less. I wouldn't say a star trade, but a name, like a name, someone of substance, like Dadier, and I think it would be Dadier and someone. Like if you put Dadier and Deuce together, and you got um, a name me and Freezy were talking about, Cam Whitmore. If they gave me Cam Whitmore for Dadier and Kolek or Dadier and Deuce, okay, that makes sense because that's someone who's highly coveted. That's someone who you can show the fans or you can show ownership. Hey, this is a positive trade. Like we didn't technically lose. We gained. Um, but that's not the only issue we have to deal with. As we see in this graphic, two spots available. And we also have three two-ways. Now, I just want to show you some names. So, for those two spots and three two-ways, let's say you're definitely getting Landry Shamet, Malcolm Brogdon, and then you only can sign three other players to your two way. Everybody else is pretty much unprotected. Like you could bring them to the G League, but any team in the NBA can snatch them from the G League. So, who are those three players? I know a lot of people say, hey, Kevin McCullough is definitely a guy you got to keep. Okay, Kevin McCullough. Well, Dig Pate had a great summer. You definitely got to keep Dig Pate. Okay, that's two. And let's see. Diawara. I'm sorry. Diawara could technically fit um, as the 14th guy. So let's pick four. So McCullough, Diawara, Pate, and a lot of people are talking about the Nets former player, 6'8" wingman, Tosin Bowen. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it well. So if you protected just those people, you know who isn't protected? James Najee. James Najee, when he came from overseas, he said, "Hey, I'm staying in America. I'm gonna go play in the NBA." If he doesn't have a two-way player, he goes to Westchester for little to no money, and any team in the NBA can pick him up. So you're leaving someone we've highly kind of coveted off the bench. We kind of said he's kind of the future, unprotected. Anton Watson, we had him last season. He didn't perform well, but in the G League he did very well, leaving him unprotected. Okay, so you Shamit's on the regular roster. What about Matt Ryan? Um, or Garrison Matthews? Like Garrison Matthews is someone you brought in on Exhibit 9 and kind of insurance for Shamet. So that insurance for Shamet, if he's insurance for Shamet, don't you need to protect him? So like it's very tough. Like I don't see everybody being protected. The only way I can see where the Knicks can protect pretty much the guys they want to keep is that the Knicks pull off a big trade. Like a pick the 3-for-1, and then maybe you could protect the names you really need to protect with the two ways. I'm just gonna look at the comments real quick. Nostalgia Nick, thank you for joining us. And glad everybody joined me this late night. Mikkel P. Um, Nostalgia Nick would take Kev Najee Dink. Nostalgic Knicks is that everyone will be signed. Knicks can have 21 players. Yes, they can have 21 players for camp. That is totally fine. But when camp's over and everybody needs a spot, it's like musical chairs. Like the music stops. How many how many spots are going to be there? Um, I think this is just indication that a trade is coming. Like a trade is coming, and I don't think the thought of it just being Kolek going somewhere is it. I think it's going to be a bigger trade. I think it's going to be a 2-for-1, a 2-for-1, or a 3-for-1, or uh, it could be Mitch, Mitch and someone else leaving. and getting something in return. So just so many possibilities right now. Does anybody have any questions? Um, so Mo D getting rookie spot. Um, yeah, just found out the rookie deals can only go to players on your team drafts. Yes. So if they use that rookie exception, it would have to be Mo D. However, if they clear a little bit more space, it doesn't have to be Mo D because they can just sign a vet minimum and then make Mo D a two-way player. But then that's another player you can't protect. Um, Also, another thing the Knicks can do just to save as many bodies as available is to go to filling off 15 players. And I know we've said in the past that, hey, you only put 14 just in case there's a trade mid-season. But in this case, if they can clear enough money, I think you may want to sign that 15th guy to save somebody, um, to make sure like Dink Pate isn't left off or unprotected. Um, so I think it's a possibility they may go 15, even though that's not normal. I don't think this many young players is normal. So I think it is a possibility going 15 if you shed some salary. Um, I've been throwing around trades the last few days. Um, I don't even want to put them out there because it just, people are just going to shred the trades up. Because these are things I would want to do. I'm not in Leon Rose's head. I don't even know what he feels about next year. I don't even know if Leon Rose wants to be a second apron team next year. Like that decision he hasn't made public. So if he wants to be second apron team next year, this is the point where you probably load yourself up with talent. Maybe you trade some young guys for someone who's up and coming. Um, so we don't even know that yet. So we're just gonna have to stay tuned. I think there's gonna be more clarity, more rumors as the week goes along. I'm I'm very interested to to hear some comments from some people, you know, around the Knicks, um, to see what's going on, who's in the lead, because already you're starting to hear some players may make the roster whose names that aren't guys you would assume. Like we're hearing DSJ may make it, or or we heard today Fanbo Zhang may make a 2A. Like and I think Fanbo Zhang is actually, I think when they did that, I think they really meant Brooklyn because he's not. But I think there's a lot there's a lot to process. Um, so maybe tomorrow I'll go live and we'll talk a little bit more about the Knicks. I just wanted to talk about this roster situation. Um, I don't think everybody could be saved. I don't think there's a situation where the Knicks um, keep all the young players. Some are going to be traded, um, and if they don't trade a few, some will be unprotected. And I think once you go to Westchester, it's you know any team can grab them. So that's what I have for tonight. It's late. I just didn't want to go like 7 days without talking to you guys. Um, I really want to talk about um, Mitchell Robinson. But I want to bring someone else on talk about Mitchell Robinson. So I think I'm gonna try to get someone for the Never Trade Mitch Hive, and we're gonna talk about trading Mitch. I know it's gonna be controversial, but we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about the possibilities. I thank everybody for joining. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Um, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting camp. 9 days. We're gonna have media day earlier than everyone else, so all the eyes are gonna be on the Knicks, and then they're gonna be in Abu Dhabi. So yeah, all the eyes are on the Knicks, and this is a good problem to have when you have too many players that you want to fit on the roster, instead of just looking for guys you can round the roster out with. Um, Thank everybody for joining you, and you have a good night.